Hi, Brad Sham here for Sam Pack and his 5-star dealerships, where he's been taking care of North Texans one family at a time for more than 40 years. Sam Pack Auto Group has 6 dealerships: 5-star Ford of Dallas, North Richland Hills, Louisville, and Carrollton, Sam Pack's 5-star Chevrolet in Carrollton, and Sam Pack's 5-star Subaru in Grapevine. No matter what kind of vehicle you want, whether it's a Ford F-150, Expedition, Chevy Silverado, Tahoe, Subaru Outback, or Forester, Sam Pack has you covered. I can tell you personally, the good people at the Sam Pack Auto Group pride themselves on making it easy to do business. No games, no tricks, just good old-fashioned neighbor-to-neighbor deals. Do what I've been doing for years when I need a new vehicle. Go to the 5-star dealerships: Sam Pack's 5-star Ford, Sam Pack's 5-star Chevrolet, and Sam Pack's 5-star Subaru. Visit sampack.com to find the Sam Pack store nearest you.
Taking care of business.
Sean Sharif here from Maverick Windows. It's heating up in Texas. If you're like me, you have a family to take care of and need to be smart when thinking of home improvements and expenses. Windows are a big concern of mine and should be for you as well. That's why I deal with Joe at Maverick Windows for all my window needs. Be energy efficient and replace those old windows and enjoy more money in your pocket. Call Maverick Windows today and receive a $50 gift card or baseball tickets with your free quote and product demonstration. 214-302-8541 or maverickwindows.com.
Clint Sterner and Ron the Show Hughley are brought to you by TexasLending.com. Sports Radio 610 presents former NFL quarterback Clint Sterner and Ron the Show Hughley. It's Clint Sterner and the Show.
That's right. Yesterday we got to hear from the general manager, Nick Caserio, and today David Culley came behind him talking today, and we hear a lot of the same things from David Culley. Clint, yesterday Nick Caserio was talking about the numbers and the numbers at their skill position, and today David Culley was as well. And he was hit with the thought of, hey, your numbers are this low at wide receiver, at tight end. Should we be able to be thinking or assume that the Texans are not done and they're going to make a move there at one of those positions? This was David Culley's response to that.
That's too much to assume right now. And the thing is, too, is our tight ends are very flexible. We can take our tight ends and do that and flex them and do those kinds of things. We can also, with what we're going to do offensively, we could be more that type of team than being 3 wides. Maybe with 2 tight ends in sometimes in those particular situations. And we have the ability to take a back and move him out and do those kinds of things.
Oh, so maybe this is the game plan. Clint, maybe this is the game plan they're going with. He just said, he said it, he didn't say, this is what we like.
Yeah, again, this
tight ends and backs that you can do those things.
So to me, this is the most pressing topic or concern, if you will, with the Houston Texans cutting down the 53-man to a 53-man roster is the wide receiver position specifically, but we can talk about the skill positions offensively. This can't be the plan. I mean,
10 days away.
I feel like my mother's sitting there telling me how hard-headed my ass is right now because I've heard the GM say it, and now the head coach has said it, and I'm going, no, it can't be the plan.
Just like we thought, there's no way Deshaun's going to be out there. Can't be.
No
the
way.
plan.
That's it.
No way.
It. They keep telling us about what you can do with these other positions and what you can do with that many running backs, and ultimately where I'm coming from is it's not about I know what you can do with different personnels.
Yeah, you can stand people out there.
But I know you're right. You can line folks up. You can put 5 skilled players out there that are eligible receivers. Yes, you can do that. But I'm just telling you that what you can't do with this crew is pose a threat in a 4-receiver set. What you can't do is pose a legit threat if you have one of your top 3 guys get nicked up right now. What you can't do is go into this game with a wide-open playbook because your play caller is handcuffed just based off of the sheer numbers. The whole crew is handcuffed. We talked about this the other day. Andre Roberts, he's the return specialist for the Texans show. He spoke yesterday.
He did.
Our guy Brandon Scott, B. Scott, with sportsradio610.com. He does a great job posting all the different comments. And he quoted Andre Roberts. Had a nice picture of him sitting up there at the press conference.
Nice picture.
Yeah, a little post practice presser. And this is what Andre Roberts said: "My role is to be the returner. And if they put me at wide receiver, I'm going to do that to the best of my ability."
Okay.
That is one
best
of
his ability.
Correct. That is one of the wide receivers that we're counting in this 5-man bunch. And I look,
not to mention the other injured one.
I don't want to be the hard-headed kid on the block, but damn it, I mean, David Culley and Nick Caserio are making it hard on me right now, Show.
Here's the thing, and it's crazy that Jim is here with us today.
Mud.
It's crazy that
Hello.
Jim Mudd is here with us today because Jim is the one who fielded the call from the gentleman who said, "You don't know. Maybe they're having secret practices."
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, Mud.
You
Look,
cannot prove it. I believe is what Jim
Can't prove they haven't.
You can't prove they haven't.
I think Mud agreed with him, by the way.
No, he did. He did. I don't know if Jim
sound
believed
logic.
in it. But to go back to that thought, they must be having secret practices if this is the plan. Because I sure as hell didn't see Brevin Jordan lining up as a receiver. I didn't see Brevin Jordan getting practice in the slot. I didn't see David Johnson getting practice and running routes in the slot or as a receiver. I didn't see it from Phillip Lindsay. I haven't seen it from Jordan Akins. So maybe they're fielding these secret practices because what David Culley just said is, "Oh, we got tight ends that can split out and do those things. We got running backs that can step up and do those things." When have they done them? When have you practiced them?
They must be in the
secret
practice. But I'll say this:
that guy's right.
Whether it's Brevin Jordan or it's David Johnson or it's Rex Burkhead or it's Andre Roberts, if one of any or a combination of any of those guys are lined up at the wide receiver position in critical situations, you're handcuffed. You're handcuffed. I mean, that's the reality of it is. I mean, again, I'll go back to Culley and Nick Caserio talking about this. If you've got and I don't mean necessarily as accomplished as a Christian McCaffrey or a Alvin Kamara or, not as decorated or as accomplished as those guys, but just a player with that kind of skill set, okay, let's talk about it. But you don't. If you had a player at the tight end position with the Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey. I'm sorry, not Jason. That'd be a tough one. Wouldn't it? The center would be a tough had skill set.
Not bad, though.
If you had one of those types of, again, not as accomplished and not even as high a ceiling, but just somebody that is athletic enough at the tight end position that could go out there.
That's the key. We think Brevin Jordan could be, but not no.
But you don't feel comfortable about that going into the season.
I wouldn't have thought so.
So look, this is two things. This is for me, the most concerning thing about the 53-man roster. And now 2 straight days we've heard the GM and the head coach both refer to this particular situation as one where it's going to be solved with versatility and flexibility by tight ends and running backs. And I don't think that's an answer, Show. I just don't. Is John Brown still out there?
Yeah,
is John Brown still out there on the market right now?
I think he is. Unless they're going to, because we see this on the text line, and David Culley spoke to this. What about Moore and VC on the practice squad? Are those guys options in 2 weeks? I mean, they can be. Now, you can also run the risk of losing them if another team comes up and says, we want to sign them to our active roster. Like, you could run a chance of losing them. But, I mean, I guess those can be options, but that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is we got running backs and tight ends who can fill those voids.
Yeah, look, he spoke to Anthony Auclair specifically about him probably sounded like he was going to play against Jacksonville. So their plan, it sounds like, is going to be to put him back on the roster. So who are you going to move down? One of the 5 backs at that point? So who are you going to expose to you possibly lose? One of the 5 backs at that point in time? If you move if you move one of those receivers up, sure, yeah, those numbers I would feel a whole lot better about going into a game with either one of those guys as
Moore or VC.
Yeah, as a backup option, an emergency receiver, your fourth receiver in any kind of 4-receiver set that you want to run. You're a guy that has to be on the field if any of the other guys get winded at any point in time. Yeah, I would feel better about that. Yes, I would really feel good if I'm right on this and they're making a move for another player. I'd really feel good about a John Brown.
Clint, I refuse to believe that they aren't. They have to be. They have to be making them. You can't volunteer this to yourself. They would be doing it to themselves. Like nobody's making them do this. Like the way he sounds. Now, I'm going to tell you, I know from experience that a lot of these coaches and GMs just lie because they don't want to give away things. But they are making, if you listen to them for their words, Clint, they're making it seem like this is something that they want to do.
Yeah, a decision they made.
They're making.
We had Kiki QT, but we felt like we could let him go because we're going to be flexible.
This is what we want to do.
Right.
We want to potentially have a running back split out wide because you don't have to at week 1. You're not injured.
The other thing there is you look at this, like if you were going to play the practice squad roster game, if that's what your plan was at the wide receiver position, logic tells you that it would have been smarter to do it with Kiki QT because you're short in the slot.
Yeah, right, because Miller, you don't even know if Anthony Miller's going to come back and be ready because the GM yesterday said, we think it's fair that he'll play again this year.
Right.
So you're really short there. Right now, if he can't go, who's the slot receiver? Cooks?
Yeah. Well, you got to go Nico Collins, Chris Conley outside, and Cooks inside. Which, by the way, I could get excited about. The problem is
they can't never come off the field.
They can't. Right. The problem is
they can't get hurt.
If you go 3 wide receivers, they can't come off the field, and so
no one can get hurt, and they got to be Wolverine and heal fast.
Right. Right. So as I put myself in Nick Casario's shoes, which is dangerous, I sit there and I go, okay, well, if you are going to play that game, the best way to play that game was with the more experienced player that really is a better player. I like Jordan Vesey's upside, possibly like the fact that he can play special teams. I like Chris Moore. I'm not sold that Chris Moore has the ceiling and the big play ability that a Kiki QT has.
But all camp long, you never ever showed that you thought those two guys were above him.
Correct. Yeah, it would be if the answer to my biggest concern with this 53-man roster cut down, which is the wide receiver position, if the answer is one of the two guys, Chris Moore, Jordan Vesey, that you put on the practice squad, moving one of those two back to the roster before the season starts, I like that plan better than going as is. But I can't think that that's the best way to do it when you had Kiki QT that you could have played that game with. Clearly, you could have played that game with him because he went to Indianapolis's practice squad, right? So yeah. I don't know. It to me it screams that they're having conversations with a veteran receiver somewhere that's on the streets that they feel like they got an inside track on and want to bring in here.
That's the wild part. Maybe Nick has got something. I'm just assuming Nick has something going. But that today, what David Culley said was even different to me than Nick, because David Culley, he then ran out examples of what they'll do. Like we've got tight ends that'll do like split where.
Come on, man. Could you imagine trying to compete in this league with that approach with these running backs and these tight ends?
David Johnson in the slot as receivers. Week 1.
That to me that wouldn't be like if I were the quarterback for a football team and I had a little bit of mess in my neck, I'd be questioning what we're doing.
Oh yeah, hell if you didn't, you'd just be at least sitting there like what the hell is this?
Right now, if that were the plan. Now, if the plan, but like I said, if the plan is Nico Collins, Chris Conley, and then your move guy is Brandon Cooks. I could get down with that, but I would ask the old coach. I'd say, man, what we're gonna do if somebody gets hurt? Yeah. What's the answer here? However, that Nico Collins, Chris Conley, and Brandon Cooks being your move guy, if that does occur and Brandon Cooks becomes that gadget guy that we talked about, ooh, come on.
Say, boy, if he gets hurt, what do you mean? David Johnson.
Oh no, we
guy.
David Johnson. Hey.
David Johnson's our move guy.
Yeah.
He kept talking about David Johnson's versatility. Well,
Oh,
hell, he's
boy.
got it. He's going to show it week 1 against Jacksonville. David in the slot, David in the backfield, David lined up as a tight end. Hell, he may come in at center. Who knows? The versatility of David Johnson. All right, boy, a lot going on today, including our guy Dusty Baker, who we thought Dusty Baker was starting to make the turn. But he resorted back to some of his old ridiculous tricks. We'll let you hear that next.
Hi, Brad Sham here for Sam Pack and his 5-star dealerships, where he's been taking care of North Texans one family at a time for more than 40 years. Sam Pack Auto Group has 6 dealerships: 5-star Ford of Dallas, North Richland Hills, Louisville, and Carrollton, Sam Pack's 5-star Chevrolet in Carrollton, and Sam Pack's 5-star Subaru in Grapevine. No matter what kind of vehicle you want, whether it's a Ford F-150, Expedition, Chevy Silverado, Tahoe, Subaru Outback, or Forester, Sam Pack has you covered. I can tell you personally, the good people at the Sam Pack Auto Group pride themselves on making it easy to do business. No games, no tricks, just good old-fashioned neighbor-to-neighbor deals. Do what I've been doing for years when I need a new vehicle. Go to the 5-star dealerships: Sam Pack's 5-star Ford, Sam Pack's 5-star Chevrolet, and Sam Pack's 5-star Subaru. Visit sampack.com to find the Sam Pack store nearest you.
Taking care of business.
Stop worrying about those pesky plumbing problems and call the 5-star plumbing experts at Crawford Services. From water heaters and garbage disposals to sump pumps and slab leaks, a Crawford 5-star plumbing technician can handle all of your plumbing needs. Call Crawford Services today and ask how you can save $50 off your next plumbing repair. Call 214-271-8800. That's 214-271-8800. Or visit Crawford-Services.com. Crawford Services, home of the 5-star technician.
It's your buddy Sean here for Autoflex Leasing. Good companies, just like good people, stand the test of time. Autoflex Leasing has been helping Tolos just like you save money on their cars for over 40 years. At Autoflex, you'll get straight answers and unbiased advice on all cars because they lease every make and model. Call Autoflex at 234-1234 and save even more on discounted lease returns and trade-ins, or at Autoflex.com. Great leases and great service.
Autoflex lease, oh yeah.
We're the only radio station giving you money straight from the Texans general manager's pocket.
Nick Caserio gave 610 listeners an opportunity.
The guys at 610 take a poll. How many roster transactions are the Houston Texans going to have? And I'll maybe give $100 to the winner.
The listener who got the number right and then was randomly selected was Hippolito Arriaga of Katy.
I'm excited. I love it.
And keep listening for Texans experiences you won't find anywhere else.
That's why I listen to 610, man. Y'all are fantastic.
Insider access, exclusive content. Sports Radio 610. The Texans play here.
It's time for the Momcast email of the day. This one's from Chris and Katie. Clint, the Texans have 5 tailbacks on their roster. How does that make sense? Chris, I can't help you, my man. I don't know how it makes sense. All I can tell you is I think one of them ends up getting released and then put on the practice squad before the first game, and or one of them gets traded before the first game versus Jacksonville, and they go into that game with 4 on the roster. The email of the day is protected by Momcast. Safeguard your organization against phishing, business email compromise, and risk of ransomware. Visit Mimecast.com. That's Mimecast.com. Relentless protection, resilient world.
I-45, the Gulf Freeway, northbound entrance ramp from FM 519. It's going to be shut down due to construction. Your DuckDuckGo route you can trust is to take the next available ramp and make a U-turn. Highs will be in the 90s tomorrow. I'm Laura Reynolds, Sports Radio 610.
Grass is high, work is piling up, and it's not getting any cooler. Make easy work of all you have to do. Lansdowne Moody Service can get your equipment up and ready for the dog days. Call any of our 8 Gulf Coast locations and get scheduled now. All makes, all models, and regardless of where you bought, we've got your back. Our infield technicians can even come to you. Need a rental? We'll bring one with us. Saving time and eliminating perspiration. It's what we do. Lansdowne Moody Parts, Service, and Rental. LMTractor.com.
This summer brings new challenges for students trying to find their way in life. Houston Can Academies, they need your help now more than ever to help get a kid back in school and to earn their high school diploma. Please help by donating your vehicle, running or not, to carsforkids.org. You'll get free towing, a tax deduction, and a $50 Visa gift card that must be requested at the time of your donation, and you get the satisfaction of knowing you're helping change a life. Donate online at carsforkids.org, and remember, write off the car, not the kid.
Hurricane season is officially here, and you know how to prepare for hurricane season. You've stocked up on your supplies and all of that, but you might not have your trees ready. Get your trees ready because strong winds can damage your big, beautiful, valuable trees. You don't want to lose them, and you certainly don't want anything damaged below when the branches fall. How do you get your trees ready for hurricane season? It's simple. You call Louis Flory at Ability Tree Experts. They have over 40 years of experience. Louis Flory is a licensed arborist. He's been in the Houston area forever, and he is Houston's tree care expert. For one, they'll come in, they'll prune your trees, they'll thin them out, help with the stress caused by heavy branches. Insects can be drawn to trees that are stressed, so you want to take care of that right now. Have Louis Flory come to your place. Give him a call, 281-441-4179. That's 281-441-4179. Call now to receive your free deep root feeding with every tree pruned. You can check them out online at abilitytrees.com. It's Ability Trees, Houston's leading tree care professionals.
Beck & Maston Buick GMC is Houston's certified pre-owned headquarters. Shop our massive selection of certified pre-owned vehicles, all with 0% APR for 60 months. GMC, we are professional grade.
Save at beckandmaston.com. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
So a friend told me about Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and his exact words were, "It changed my life."
I used to spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to remove tomato sauce from inside our microwave and soap scum off the bathtub.
It's like seriously magic, and my secret weapon for cleaning the kitchen, bathroom, doors, and walls, and even keeping my sneakers clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Greatest invention ever.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, the unicorn of cleaning.
The pitch is moving up a day.
Antonio's animation studio needs a 3D designer today.
What are we going to do?
Someone who's as artistic as they are organized.
How are we going to get all this done? What about the production schedule?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessments. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, Brad Sham here for Sam Pack and his 5-star dealerships, where he's been taking care of North Texans one family at a time for more than 40 years. Sam Pack Auto Group has 6 dealerships: 5-star Ford of Dallas, North Richland Hills, Louisville, and Carrollton, Sam Pack's 5-star Chevrolet in Carrollton, and Sam Pack's 5-star Subaru in Grapevine. No matter what kind of vehicle you want, whether it's a Ford F-150, Expedition, Chevy Silverado, Tahoe, Subaru Outback, or Forester, Sam Pack has you covered. I can tell you personally, the good people at the Sam Pack Auto Group pride themselves on making it easy to do business. No games, no tricks, just good old-fashioned neighbor-to-neighbor deals. Do what I've been doing for years when I need a new vehicle. Go to the 5-star dealerships: Sam Pack's 5-star Ford, Sam Pack's 5-star Chevrolet, and Sam Pack's 5-star Subaru. Visit sampack.com to find the Sam Pack store nearest you.
Taking care of business.
Do you have hidden cash parked right in your driveway? If your auto lease expires in 12 months or less, you probably do. A shortage of new cars has increased the values of used cars, allowing many Autoflex leasing customers to get a new vehicle 6, 9, or even 12 months early. Don't even think about returning your leased vehicle to a new car dealer, or you could lose thousands. This especially applies to high-end cars, trucks, and SUVs. To find out how much you have in your old car, call Autoflex Leasing at 234-1234 or reach them at autoflex.com.
Autoflex Lease, oh yeah.
Stop worrying about those pesky plumbing problems and call the 5-star plumbing experts at Crawford Services. From water heaters and garbage disposals to sump pumps and slab leaks, a Crawford 5-star plumbing technician can handle all of your plumbing needs. Call Crawford Services today and ask how you can save $50 off your next plumbing repair. Call 214-271-8800. That's 214-271-8800. Or visit Crawford-Services.com. Crawford Services, home of the 5-star technician.
Live from the Twin Peaks studios, Sports Radio 610 presents Clint Sterner and the Show.
Buckle up. Make sure you're listening. 318, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see one of the best guitarists ever, Eric Clapton. Your chance to win that coming up right here on Clint Sterner and the show at 318. So make sure you're locked and loaded and listening for that. Clint, I know last week you said, hey, after watching that game, watching it up close and personal against the Bucs, that right side of that offensive line is going to be an issue and something they got to look to improve, that being Max Sharping at right guard and Charlie Heck at right tackle.
Lane.
I know you were concerned about that side of the ball. It looks like Marcus Cannon has been practicing and could be back close. But I know you said you went as far as to say that maybe Max Sharping should be maybe need to make a move on him.
Well, look, here's what I'll say. I'm not in panic mode about Max Sharping or Charlie Heck. But if this offensive line is going to be as improved as we think it is, those two guys are going to have to play better, right? If this offensive line is going to live up to the – what did somebody – I don't even remember what publication it was, but somebody had them listed as a top –
blocking offensive line.
Yeah, if they're going to even flirt with that, then Charlie Heck and Max Sharping are going to have to play out of their mind. Not just, well, they got better. You know, well, hell, one of them was a swing tackle late in the season last year as a rookie, and the other one took the biggest step back because of COVID and went from a starter to somebody that was detrimental to even put him on the field. Hell, they better get better. They better progress. I'm not at panic mode, Tom. I'm just simply saying I feel really good about the left side of this offensive line in terms of pass protecting and being able to run the football. I think the right side of this offensive line, there is major room to improve, whether that's with the guys that are on the field or it's Lane Taylor or it with Justin McCray or it's a combination of the two, Marcus Cannon coming back. I wanted to caution people and say, hey, look, this isn't one of those where, yeah, we're strapped, we're locked and loaded, we're ready to go to battle this season, and we're going to have a top 10 pass-protecting offensive line, and we're going to be able to run the ball downhill with these five guys. And your right guard is Max Sharping, and your right tackle is Charlie Heck. I don't feel comfortable telling people that that's the case with those two guys starting on the right side of the formation.
Well, interesting enough, we'll see if you agree with what David Culley had to say. David Culley specifically spoke about Max Sharping, the right guard, as penciled in, it seems right now. He specifically spoke about Max Sharping. This is what he had to say.
Max has had a good preseason. Max has improved. There were some things that we wanted to make sure that Max got better at, from a strength standpoint, and he's done that. He's been healthy, and I wouldn't say he's been a surprise, but I would say he's been progressing very well for us. That's allowed us to be able to do some things with the offensive line because of his play.
Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah. Well, I think it's fair to say that he's progressed. I mean, like I said, he had taken the biggest step back as any Texan in the game
but
between
has he
the year
progressed
19 and 20.
Has he progressed to a starter? Like progressed to somebody that can hold it down?
To me,
what you've seen,
in my opinion, he has not progressed to the point, and he's not at a point where you go, we're the Houston Texans. We've got a few other veteran options on the roster ready to play, and we're going to go to battle with Max. Max Sharping is our guy. We're committing to Max Sharping. No, I don't think he's not. I don't think that's where we're at. Now, is it neck and neck and Max drew the card to start this week, and he's going to compete with some of these veteran guys throughout the year and figure out who's okay. I'm good with that. But I'm just telling you right now that there should be some serious competition at a few spots on this 53-man roster, or let's say on the 22-man starting depth chart, 11 on offense, 11 on defense, and two of those positions where the competition should not be decided is right guard and right tackle. That's it.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, Clint. I didn't think that Max was in the plans. Like, I think when they sat down and thought all the parts they brought in, I don't know that I believe Max was in the plan to start. the person I think was in the plan to start is someone they ended up cutting but then signing back to the practice squad, Lane Taylor. I think that was the plan the whole way. And David Culley actually spoke and gave an update on Lane Taylor, who I think was really where they wanted to go.
Lane will start to do some things this week for us. Again, he hasn't practiced to this point. He has to practice at some point as the season progresses. We're hoping he's going to be ready to play. He should start to practice this week.
Well, hopefully you start to see him getting closer to practice. But to me, that's like when you're talking about the veteran and the guy that, like, I think that's where they want it to go, is to Lane Taylor, and still potentially may still try to get there at some point.
Well, I think they wanted to have answers at the guard position when they brought these guys in here that James Campen had coached before. James Campen knows these guys. James Campen can tell you right now, does a healthy Lane Taylor, is he better than Max Sharping right now? I don't know if he is or not, but I believe James Campen can tell you that right this minute. He's seen enough of Max Sharping. He's coached Lane Taylor in the past. I believe Lane Taylor was a starting guard last year for Green Bay before he got hurt, right?
Before he got injured.
And so this is he can tell you who the better player is there. All I'm telling you is the decision. The jury is still out at right guard and right tackle, and help is on its way. That I don't know who's going to end up starting. I'm not going to panic if it is Max Sharping and Charlie Heck. It's not a panic button. It's just, hey, be prepared.
I don't know.
I'm nervous about those two guys being targeted in a big way.
That's why I think panic. I think potential panic is a reasonable place to go. When you're like, as you broke down last week, I mean the TE stunt that they couldn't even solve, and that's very simple things on the right side, very simple things with the Bucs, to where, as you said last week, it just looked like at times Max was just lost, like completely lost, not even getting a hand on anybody at all, just completely lost. And that's where he was at times last year when you couldn't put him on the field. So I don't know. It seems like, according to David Culley, it feels like he's really progressed to this point where they're happy with where he is. I'm not sure because you say you're not a place to panic yet, but after what we watched at times, small things that led to just wide open guys being able to get to the running back or quarterback, that kind of is a bit of a panic.
Well, I'll say this. I think defensive coordinators are going to target those two, and when they're both side by side on the entire right side of your formation, when coordinators will figure out a way to either beat Max Sharping laterally or put Charlie Heck in a bind with a bull rush. I mean, they're going to figure out a way, whether it's games or it's one-on-one. Good defensive coordinators are going to do that, and they're going to do it early. They're going to do it often. And all I know is if I put myself in Tyrod Taylor's shoes, and it's 3rd and 8, and I'm dropping back, and the right side of my offensive line is consistently in my lap, at the very least in my lap. Right, and I'm not saying you have to call it they're giving up sacks, but it's a mess over there. They can't figure out TE stunts. Heck's getting pushed back into my face. Any kind of lateral movement from Sharping he's getting turned sideways and getting pushed up the middle in the pocket. It's a problem for me, and so I just believe that there's room to improve there. Now I'm with you though. I'll clear up what I said earlier. A big reason that I'm not in panic mode is because I don't believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars have anybody that they can line up opposite Charlie Heck with a toolbox dynamic enough to put him on his ass with bull rushes consistently.
Who is their best guy? Allen?
Well, they got two speed guys, Josh Allen, Kayvon Chasen. Those two guys are your two big pass rushers, but they're more guys that are going to use speed. Now,
we saw Jacob Martin put him on his ass.
We saw Jacob Martin put him back. But my point is there's just not a –
Sorry, Charlie.
Sorry, Charlie. That was good. There is not a Myles Garrett over there. Like if this were a team where you had like a Myles Garrett, he would rush 99.9% of the snaps from the right side. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't have an answer. Charlie Heck would not have an option against him. And if you got tired of Charlie, if you put Marcus Cannon over there, or you flipped Titus Howard out there, then he'd slide his ass inside and he'd work on Max Sharping if he felt like that was a better matchup. That's the fear for me, is that you got two of those guys side by side, and when you come up against a squad that has a legit defensive end that has some speed to him and some power to him and some bend to him, the Texans could be in some serious trouble and struggle more than we think they're going to struggle in obvious passing situations. I mean, to the point where who was it last year that literally it was my man in Cincinnati. The quarterback.
Oh, Burrow?
Joe Burrow. Remember last year about midseason when everybody's like, damn, I feel sorry for this kid. This kid's it's a human pinata. He's back there just getting beat to death. I mean, that's what I get scared of is when you got two guys side by side that have deficiencies and you play a schedule where you've got some pretty solid defensive ends and defensive tackles coming at you, it could be that. It could turn into the quarterback don't have a chance. The offensive play caller doesn't have a chance. Like he can't call any kind of route concept that requires the receiver to run 10, 12 yards down the field because the quarterback can't keep his eyes downfield because it's collapsing.
Hi, Brad Sham here for Sam Pack and his 5-Star Dealerships, where he's been taking care of North Texans one family at a time for more than 40 years. Sam Pack Auto Group has 6 dealerships: 5-Star Ford of Dallas, North Richland Hills, Louisville, and Carrollton, Sam Pack's 5-Star Chevrolet in Carrollton, and Sam Pack's 5-Star Subaru in Grapevine. No matter what kind of vehicle you want, whether it's a Ford F-150, Expedition, Chevy Silverado, Tahoe, Subaru Outback, or Forester, Sam Pack has you covered. I can tell you personally, the good people at the Sam Pack Auto Group pride themselves on making it easy to do business. No games, no tricks, just good old-fashioned neighbor-to-neighbor deals. Do what I've been doing for years when I need a new vehicle. Go to the 5-Star dealerships: Sam Pack's 5-Star Ford, Sam Pack's 5-Star Chevrolet, and Sam Pack's 5-Star Subaru. Visit sampack.com to find the Sam Pack store nearest you.
Taking care of business.
I know what happens when you call Frankel and Frankel, but for those who haven't gone through the process, Mark Frankel, what do you guys do when people call you at 214-333-3333?
When you get in a wreck with what we call a commercial vehicle, you're about to make a really big decision. You need someone on your side to make sure you get the medical care you deserve, that your lost wages are covered, and helps you and your family get back on the road again.
That's 214-333-3333 or truckwreck.com for Frankel and Frankel. Principal office, Dallas, Texas.
Stop worrying about those pesky plumbing problems and call the 5-Star Plumbing experts at Crawford Services. From water heaters and garbage disposals to sump pumps and slab leaks, a Crawford 5-Star Plumbing technician can handle all of your plumbing needs. Call Crawford Services today and ask how you can save $50 off your next plumbing repair. Call 214-271-8800. That's 214-271-8800. Or visit Crawford-Services.com. Crawford Services, home of the 5-Star technician.
And this is what Clint Sterner in the show, if you're just jumping on with this, we're talking about the right side. David Culley spoke today and says, boy, he's really happy with the progression of Max Sharping. And, boy, there is some concern with that right side. And as someone just texted in, panic for what? Oh, 3 wins. They won't win their 3 games. Let me tell you why it is important. Listen, this season, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you, boy, the Texans got a chance to get into the playoff hunt. No. I think they're going to be picking in the top 10, probably in the top 5. They're not going to be a good football team. But what it is important for this season is to learn what you got and to try to get some of these young dudes that you have and see if they're somebody you can use down the line. And if Max Sharping and Charlie Heck don't give you a chance to run offense, then you don't get a chance to see what Nico Collins is about. You don't get a chance to see what Brevin Jordan is about. You don't get a chance to see, in my opinion, hopefully down the line, if Scotty Phillips is somebody that you can use. Like, those are the reasons why it's important. And none of that can happen if the right side of your line are just getting taken advantage of. That's why, when I say panic, that's why I think it matters. Because you've got to – the whole thing this season is, what kind of dudes do we have, especially the young dudes, that we can use going forward? And if that's the case, if they can't block a TN stunt where the tackle goes into the inside and the end ropes around them, if they can't block that, then you're not going to get the chance to see what the young tight ends you have can do. You're not going to see if Pharaoh Brown is somebody who could be like, you're not going to. They don't give you a chance.
Zero chance. And again, I'll say. The reason it's not panic for me because you got Jacksonville Jaguars first, but guess who you got coming to town the second week?
Myles Garrett.
Or who you got? You're going to them, Myles Garrett. Then you get the Panthers at home. I'm not real sure what the Panthers defensive line looks like.
Guy's still there.
That's right. There is a couple of them. But then guess who you got week 4? You got the Bills coming to town. Pretty good defensive front. Yeah. You want to see Ed Oliver against Max Sharping all day? Boy. How about the Patriots the next week? You got what's my man's name? The DN they got single digit, almost blew his knee out.
Yeah, they got from
Judon.
Baltimore. Yeah,
Judon from Baltimore. The Patriots next week.
They just have Bill Belichick.
Right. Well, that too. Yeah, he's going to play games. The next week you got the Colts coming to town, right? Or you're actually at the Colts. They got some pretty good pass rushers last time I checked. They got some pretty good interior defensive linemen last time I checked. Those guys.
You see Buckner against Max Sharping all day long.
That's it. I mean, those guys are going to be major problems, and I think there could, by that point, be a cause for concern based off of what I've seen. And look, these guys may
the hope is that you can pull it together, because the hope is you got your young side of your right side of the offensive line, and young players on rookie deals at a second and a fifth round pick. That is great. But you got to be able to like there's no other position that is more important to find out what you got and everywhere else than those guys up front. Because you can't see you won't see as you said, there's not a route that Nico Collins will be able to run for you to get a chance to see what he can do.
Yeah, and here's the difference too for me is like if David Culley was talked today about how comfortable he was if he had to move Titus Howard back to right tackle, right? And I think he was just doing Titus Howard a solid and saying, yeah, we would feel good about it because we've done it. But ultimately, there's a major difference. I know as a quarterback there is. I would be interested to get Wade Smith's opinion. But there's a major difference in if one of your guards is a problem. Like if Max Sharping were playing left guard right now, and you could help him with a center, right? Or you could help him with a slide, knowing that Laramie Tunsil is outside on an island. You can do those things, and you can get away with it because you can always give him a little bit of help. If you need to slide your back up into the A or B gap before the ball snapped, he could be in that gap to help chip and keep Max on center if you need to. So you can do some different things there. Like I said, when it's right tackle and right guard, and your center can help Max, your center can help Max. But what are you going to do? It ain't Laramie Tunsil out there on the island anymore. It's Charlie Heck.
Who you got to help.
So now you're in a position where the play caller is going to need to help Charlie Heck a little bit, which is he's a second-year guy. That's just I'm not down on Charlie Heck. I think Charlie Heck has got a chance to be a really good player, but he's going to need a little help. And so now the play caller, instead of being creative and getting throws in the ocean and doing that, he's having to worry about helping a right guard with the center and then helping the right tackle with a chip tight end or a chip running back. And next thing you know, it's just too much to handle, right? That's what I'm worried about is that it goes in the wrong direction and it's just impossible to put a good product out there.
If you had your choice, what would be the right side? What would be the offensive line?
Marcus Cannon and Lane Taylor. It would be Marcus Cannon right tackle, Lane Taylor right guard, Justin Britt center, Titus Howard left guard, and Laramie Tunsil left tackle. And if anything went south, if Marcus Cannon couldn't play, right, then I personally would slide. I would slide Charlie Heck at the right tackle position. See if he could hold up. If he couldn't, I'd go Titus Howard back out there, and I'd plug in whoever my next best guard was, which would be Justin McCray or Max Sharping, again in that one position where now you've got a Pro Bowl center and a Pro Bowl left tackle that he's in between. You can help that guy.
And see, I think that's what they wanted. I think the line that you described, I think that was in their mind, their plan, because they've been playing Titus Howard at left guard since the beginning of camp.
Yep.
I mean, he was getting some reps at right tackle, but that's where they were. I think Lane Taylor and Marcus Cannon is where they wanted to go. At least one of them is on the practice field. I think Marcus Cannon is going to play.
Well, I think
at this point.
Here's the deal: just give me one of them. Give me Marcus Cannon. Give me Justin McCray. Give me Lane Taylor. Give me one of those. Whoever the best is. I mean, Justin McCray may not even be a guy that's better than Sharping. I don't know enough. I haven't watched enough of him specifically to say that. But give me one of those guys to where I got one problem that I need to address game plan wise going into week one. And if that's Max Sharping at right guard, right, because Lane Taylor's not there, Justin McCray's not the right dude, Marcus Cannon's playing right tackle. Okay, now I got a right guard situation. As a play caller, I can handle that. I can work with that. We can make ends meet. We can do some things in the protection game and in the third down game, in the third and long game, in 2-minute situations. We can package up protections to really give him some help if he needs it. But boy, if you get to trying to help two guys up front, you limit the number of targets that are getting out into routes. So you hamstring your play caller and you hamstring your quarterback. Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. I think they got to find some answers on that right side. At least one answer on that right side of the offensive line, Show.
Head coach David Culley gave an update on what might be the Texans' best player and not completely committed on if he'll be there for Jacksonville. That's next.
On Pod Save the World, we want to be your cheat sheet for global events. My name is Tommy Vitor, and each week, my co-host Ben Rhodes and I break down the biggest stories from around the world. Ben and I both worked on President Obama's national security staff, and we'll introduce you to the activists, politicians, and journalists who can help us understand what's going on around the world, what it means for the United States, and what it's like being inside the White House Situation Room during a crisis.
Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your pods.
The COVID-19 pandemic showed us how a microscopic virus could upend our lives. There is so much out there that we need to understand, but for every threat, there are heroes working at the edges of science and policy to protect us. I'm Dr. Abdul El-Sayed, former Detroit Health Director and host of Crooked Media's America Dissected. Every episode, I talk to the doctors, scientists, culture makers, and policy leaders who are working out new ways to protect us against our biggest threats. New episodes of America Dissected every Tuesday. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, Brad Sham here for Sam Pack and his 5-star dealerships, where he's been taking care of North Texans one family at a time for more than 40 years. Sam Pack Auto Group has 6 dealerships: 5-star Ford of Dallas, North Richland Hills, Louisville, and Carrollton, Sam Pack's 5-star Chevrolet in Carrollton, and Sam Pack's 5-star Subaru in Grapevine. No matter what kind of vehicle you want, whether it's a Ford F-150, Expedition, Chevy Silverado, Tahoe, Subaru Outback, or Forester, Sam Pack has you covered. I can tell you personally, the good people at the Sam Pack Auto Group pride themselves on making it easy to do business. No games, no tricks, just good old-fashioned neighbor-to-neighbor deals. Do what I've been doing for years when I need a new vehicle. Go to the 5-star dealerships: Sam Pack's 5-star Ford, Sam Pack's 5-star Chevrolet, and Sam Pack's 5-star Subaru. Visit sampack.com to find the Sam Pack store nearest you.
Taking care